that first protest, the police, it's almost as if they were trying to agitate the situation. So we had already had permits to be out here. The police chief had been on the phone with AJ on where we were marching. So this wasn't a shock. This was something that was well thought out and planned by a genius Black man. But we had cops driving by on bicycles or up side streets, just looking to do something. You could tell by their face, they were agitated, they were upset. And for us, it was just ignore them. Keep yelling louder, keep walking, you know. They can't do anything. We're here in this crowd. But it was when we stopped and I was walking back to my car that I noticed a cop and a Black gentleman. This Black man was just standing stone faced and just had his arms crossed, you know, standing up, and this cop was just going at him. And I was like, what? You know, all these people are turned this direction and this man's turned this way and this cop's in front of him. So I walked over and I just kind of tapped the man on his shoulder and I said, I'm just going to step in front of you. And I did, and that cop's demeanor changed. And he was like, well, I just want to, you know, you guys can be out here and all this stuff. And I realized his car was parked behind where we had been marching, and he was by himself. So this was a cop that was pissed that we were doing work, had no other unit with him, didn't have his body cam on, and was getting in a Black man's face because he felt that he had the authority to do so. And it wasn't until a white queer woman got in front of a Black man that he stopped. There was this moment that day that a gentleman named Brant, he is a Black gay man in the community, and we were leading, and we were saying our chants and the things that we were having them repeat back to, and he started sobbing, and he said, am I next? Am I next? And it hit everyone, because that was the reality. Is this Black man next? Is this Black woman next? What are we doing in Greensboro to make a difference? Because history's been made here. And we, when he did that, he started crying. So I just kind of, came up and hugged him and put my arm around him and, told him I loved him, and we linked arms. And I have this picture, and we started saying, say his name, say her name. And the reality of how many names were on this list, it doesn't hit you until you're in the middle of it, reading all these names on a list. And there's more pages than you can count, because there's so many names. And then you think of all the names that aren't on the list that we haven't been told. This isn't a moment. This is a movement that has to occur. This has to result in change, because if not, in 60 years, we're going to be having the same fight that 60 years ago they were having in Greensboro. And I'm not having it. That torch has been passed on to our generation by different generations. And I really think that this is a time that, because of the conversations, if there's one good thing that's come out of COVID 2020, it is that these conversations can be had.